What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's Ninja Turtle. And you guys, I'm so freaking excited to share this with you. My custom made Jill Valentine of Resident Evil 3 remake of 20... Damn, was that this year? This is a really long year. This came out this year, right? 2020? The Resident Evil 3 remake? Yeah, it feels like it was last year, man. But anyway, I'm super excited to show you exactly what I did here to accomplish this action figure, and I'm super proud of how she turned out. She's not perfect, but she is definitely pretty good, I would say. I'm not gonna toot my own horn that much, but if you're interested in how I made this or making your own, because again, this is a custom made. You cannot buy this in a store, not by a long shot, but there are a lot of parts and pieces here to make this happen. I'm going to cover all of it and let you know what I did. So lastly, again, if you're interested in seeing what I did, like exactly what I did, you should probably hit me up on Twitch, twitch.tv/ninja_chortle. And you can see me actually working on this stuff and sculpting and painting and whatnot. But this video will show you, will tell you exactly how all these parts and pieces, so you can get yourself together. Let's start with the bottom and work our way up. Alright, we have our Jill Valentine next to X-23 X-Force for one specific reason, and that's the feet, baby. That's the feet. So really the only thing that's here that's the same is the shoes, which I can't focus on there, but yeah, it's just the shoes that are the same, not the rest of the leg or anything like that. Just the shoes. I picked them because they have like laces on them, so you can see they actually sculpted laces on there, and that's what's painted black for the most part, but that's it. The rest of the leg here is something else entirely. So the epoxy sculpt is on there, and I basically sculpted a boot onto these legs here, which are the Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey. Pretty much their bodysuit legs that are on this Jean Grey, because she is, you know, their bodysuit. But yeah, they're the same legs. So it has like a cloth ripple at the bottom of the boot, and then the epoxy sculpt goes around the leg, just generic wrapped around there, nothing terribly special in that regard. But I did put a lip for the boot on there with the sculpt, so it does stick out a little bit. You can see from the sides that way. And then the strings are just painted on with black. Now I was kind of conflicted on what color they should be. It was kind of weird just looking at the references. I just wasn't 100% sure if they were gray or like what color, because they're, you know, between the model and the official photos and things like that. I mean, she gets beat up pretty rough in the game, so there's like, the boots are really dirty. So I don't know, I just went with dark gray. I think it looks fine, but I could totally be wrong on that color. I really am not 100% sure whatsoever. But getting into the legs, like I said, the lower leg is from this Jean Grey. So if you don't have this Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey, that's fine. These are just bodysuit legs. You can get them on some Black Cats. You can get them on the Deadly Origins Black Widow or other ones. I use these legs all the time for that sort of cloth fabric effect. But that's just the lower leg. The upper leg, these legs are a lot slimmer. Well, not a lot, but slimmer and shorter than these here. And they actually came from a Gwen Stacy. So these are all very, very recently released figures. And she's going to stand up eventually. Come on, girl. There we go. So yeah, so this, oh, Jill, no. Here we go. Sorry. And we'll fix your neck there so you don't look so weird. But yeah, these thighs and hips are from this Gwen Stacy. Now, there's a reason why, in particular, because I wanted her to scale pretty good. So she overall is a little bit taller than I want her to be, just like a smidge taller than I want her to be, but it's not that bad. So I believe she's scaling at like 5, or she's supposed to be about 5'6", and she's scaling, in my eyes, because that's a very important distinction, and in my eyes she's about 5'7", so she's a little taller than I want her to be, but in general I think she looks fine. But these are the same thighs and just different legs. So these legs are just a little shorter because of the calf. The lower leg is shorter than these legs in general. And then, yeah, she's just going to be shorter, even though she actually has boots on and she's much taller. So that's her own issue. That's not, we're not here to talk about this. We're talking about this here. So, but yeah, all of that is the thighs. So these are just bare thighs though. So one thing that I did detail on the sides, you can kind of see it a little bit here, is that I added pockets for the blue jeans because they're not on these hips or these thighs whatsoever. I was originally going to use, and this is a good segue into the next figure, I was originally going to use the legs that came from this Netflix Electra. That was the entire premise, is that I was going to use this torso, the lower torso, and the legs from the Netflix Electra, but she was just going to end up being a little taller than this. So since these thighs and hips are just a little bit shorter than the thighs and hips on this Electra, I went with these. So yeah, she would have been a little bit taller, but this torso is that torso here. So it is the exact same lower torso, because you got the blue jean sculpt on there, and you got the pockets on the back. So that is all that is there on this figure. Now the color, one thing that I was messing around with and ended up going with once I realized it, is that after the primer, because this is black, right, and these legs were these color, I primed the legs and primed the torso, and I wanted her blue jeans to be a darker blue and so on, and they are, but for the most part I went a little heavy-handed at first because I was going to make it that color. So when I started painting the blue jeans, I was just going to make it like super dark. But when I got to the thighs, I was like, you know what? I was running out of paint. It was getting a little thinner, but I started to notice that it had this little acid wash type of color to it. It's really hard to pick that up, but you can see it's a little lighter on that thigh. But yeah, I noticed that it was getting that kind of acid wash type of color to it because it was a thinner coat of blue, so the primer wasn't fully getting covered up, but it looks good that way, and it's kind of giving that blue jean effect. So for the rest of the legs, I ended up going with a little bit thinner applications, and it's just one coat of blue, of navy blue basically. I wish I had went a little bit lighter initially, but that's fine. And then the top color is, for the most part, a custom blue. It's just a little bit lighter than the regular blue that they provide. Transparent blue is the name of the blue that they called it, and I mixed in with a little bit of white to make it lighter. And then her undershirt is painted on light gray color. I did use epoxy sculpt to frame the shirt, so the straps on her shoulders and chest, and then the top part of the shirt going down this kind of like buttoned area. You can't really see that detail all that well, but all that is sculpted on there, and it goes across to the back as well, which is also hard to see because of her shoulder chest strappy thing, whatever you want to call that. Let's try to fix her necklace here so you can see that too. Very important. We'll get to the necklace in a moment, as soon as I get her to stand up again. There we go. Alright, so the lower torso was covered already. That's again Electra. The upper torso is coming from this Blink figure, so it's the same chest. And the arms are fairly generic arms. Again, you can find them on most any figure of old Kate Bishop bodies. But I'm showing you this Dazzler for a reason. One, because I ended up using these arms from a Dazzler on this Jill. They're already flesh tone. I ended up repainting them so all of the flesh tone could match. But I didn't sand the joints, so her elbows and shoulder joints were not sanded, except for this one because it's black for her armband there. But for the most part, I didn't sand or do any painting on the elbow joints and the shoulder joints because, again, it was flesh tone. Not the same color, but it's close enough. Also, the necklace. So the necklace came from this Dazzler, but I cut it a little bit shorter. And obviously we didn't use this ball, that's this disco ball necklace on there. This is just a generic piece of plastic that I had laying around. You know, I got tons of scrap and I just cut it thin and glued it to this necklace, painted the necklace black, and that little dip down there silver. I'm not 100% sure if that's the right color. Maybe it's all supposed to be silver, maybe it's all black. I wasn't 100% sure, but I like the way it looks. Like this, it's totally fine to me. But that's it for Dazzler. Unfortunately, I don't have a Domino anymore because I foddered her basically, but not just for Jill. But the Domino figure is where the hands come from. So Domino has fingerless gloves, and so does Jill. And Domino is a gun shooting character, so both hands were gun trigger hands. So these hands are gun trigger hands. So let's lift these up so you can see that a little bit better. And while we're talking about Domino, this belt also comes from Domino, and there we go. So this belt comes from Domino, as well as the shoulder, like the chest, I don't know, whatever you call that piece. So this is exactly how Domino's belt is all black. The only change is this badge. I added that with, excuse me, some plastic that I made, just a thin piece of plastic. I cut it in the shape of a badge, glued it on to Domino's belt, painted it black, and then painted the gold and red on there. It doesn't have any writing, it's just generic colors to just pretend that it was the badge. And then the same straps that are on Domino's or you know, whatever you want to call that thing, I don't really know, it's the same one that's on the Domino. However, also added a flashlight because she's got to have that flashlight, so you can't really see it very well, but there is a flashlight there, and you can kind of see it there a little bit. That is also a generic piece of plastic that I don't remember exactly where I came from, because I do make my own plastic from stuff. So it was just kind of sitting around like a block of plastic, and I shaped it to be the flashlight shape, and yeah, that's it. Glued it right on, and that's it. It's nothing terribly special with it, but yeah. And as far as the weapons go, this knife is from a G.I. Joe Scarlet. That's it. She came with like 3 knives, and I just took one of those and gave it to Jill. This gun comes from, I honestly don't know. I've had guns sitting around in my collection for a while, just in a bag. I have a bag of weapons and stuff, and I just took one of those, and I think it fits Jill just fine. Honestly, I really don't know. It's really old, like from several years ago, I'm sure, maybe even longer. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, getting back to our girl Jill, there's 2 important things that I haven't addressed yet, like her face and her hair. So let's go with face first. So this face, surprisingly to me, I mean, I didn't do the best job in the world. I'm not gonna like pretend that it is exactly perfectly painted, but I, you know, I made my mistakes anyway. Like there's mistakes in there. Like trust me, I painted her face for like an hour and a half, and I'm not exaggerating, but I think it looks pretty dang good. And this head is the same head, the exact same head. Oof, your legs should be straightened, and that way you can stand up. Um, I hope you've been guessing, because if you haven't been guessing this entire time, and you're waiting for this reveal, oh no, Jill fell. Great. This is why I shouldn't do this stuff live. Anyway, it's Black Widow. It's this Infinity War Black Widow, and once I get her to stand up, I can pick Jill up off the ground. Um, yeah, Infinity War Black Widow. That's what Jill's face is. That's her head. So, yeah, surprise. So yeah, that. It really is. It's the same head. I actually just painted it. I didn't do any copying or do anything special. Um, this head is that head, and obviously it's not the same hair, but it is the same head, and it's just repainted. That's all. But whose hair is it? Where did this hair come from? How did you get the hair? How did you get her hair to look exactly like it does in the game, Carl? The hair came from another usual suspect on the channel. It's Emma Frost. Yeah, that Emma Frost. So it's the exact same hair, if you can't tell. But just give her a haircut, and that's it. Emma Frost, y'all. She did it again. This Emma Frost has been like MVP for my content. Like really has. I'm not gonna lie. I've made figures with her legs, with her arms, with her belts, with her upper torso, her lower torso. I've been using the heels and her head, and her other heads are going to use, because it came with two heads, I'm going to use the other head very soon on another custom. And I've used this hair 2 times now. First on a Black Widow, and now on Jill Valentine. So yeah, and I've got more uses for this body. I've also used this pad, shoulder pad, on Magic. I'm going to use this jacket on at least one custom, maybe more. We'll see. But yeah, Emma Frost has really stepped it up for all of my content. So thank you, Emma, and thank you for joining me on all of this stuff. I forgot to cover her pouch on her thigh. So that is not like something that's in the game. I mean, there's obviously RPD pouches that you pick up, and this is kind of a homage to that. But this is just using a Lady Deadpool hip pouch or thigh pouch, and painted black, painted RPD on it, and call it a day. She doesn't have any weapon storage, so that's one knock on this build. There's no place to actually put the gun or put the knife if I wanted her to not hold it, but I'll keep that in mind for future builds. And I'm definitely not done with making Resident Evil characters. This is just the first one. This is just the beginning, so I'm very excited to get her done. I think she really looks awesome, and I've only had her for a few days, but I love her. And I will see you guys next time. I'll be uploading more videos. I'll definitely be doing I guess a year-end review of my customs, all of the things that I've done, just in case you haven't seen those, and maybe some previews of what I'm working on, or just let you know what you can expect on the channel in 2021. But heck, who knows, maybe I'll have some other videos hit the channel before the end of the month, because I am working on about 5 customs right now. So I'll see you guys next time. Jill Valentine. I will definitely be making more versions of Jill as well. I'm looking forward to making RE5 Jill. I will definitely be trying to do the original RE3 Jill with her skirt and tube top. And of course, we got to do stars. So we'll see. And then there's still more Jills out there. I'm not done with Jill. I'm not done with Resident Evil. And this being my first not comic book character custom. So yeah, there's that. I have lots of those on the way as well, but I still have a lot of comic book stuff to keep working on. But I'm glad to get one that's not a comic book character done. So still a video game character though, and Marvel vs. Capcom Shelf. Hello. Make sure you guys check out that video. All right, see you guys next time. Peace.